going.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Welcome back.
I couldn't do shit like that, seriously.
It's so cheesy.
It's like, dude, it's gonna drip. It's already dripping.
It's watercolor. Welcome back. This is the second episode of If You're Bored Here, It's Your Fault, where Eddie and I select a topic from the topic jar that my lovely girlfriend put together for us. We don't know what's in here, but basically every episode we have to select from that. Alright, first topic of today.
Because who knows, like sometimes, because it always takes a little bit of time. It's like we should almost pull like two.
Yeah, do two topics. Well, we'll just keep it with
one.
one. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Climbing. We kind of talked about the last one.
We did kind of talk about climbing last episode, but
yeah.
Fuck it, let's go into
That's
it.
the thing about this, is like you pull one, but you're not going to talk about that one the whole time.
Yeah.
You can talk about a bunch of different shit.
Alright, well, climbing. I think you should start. I started yesterday, so take it away, Eddie. What do you have to say about climbing? What do you think about climbing? When did you start climbing? What's your opinion about climbing?
I started climbing in December 2008. Damn, 2018. That's a long time ago.
Yeah.
And it was really fun. I started indoors in Victoria, and it was awesome. You kind of taught me how to climb. And that's how I met Callie.
Right.
And just like met other people in the gym. And it was like, because I've done a lot of sports in my life, and I've done a lot of fitness, but it's different. It's like a community-based type of sport / fitness. It's like you don't really climb by yourself.
No.
But it's different than like playing on a team or something, because you're not really with the team. You can climb with whoever you want, but you have to choose, and like people help each other out. It's just like a really like loving sport.
Yeah.
But anyways, like the climbing itself's really fun. I was scared of it at first, 100%.
Really?
I still am scared of it in lots of
Being
ways.
Up on the wall?
I hated being held up. I'm not scared of I'm not scared of heights. I'm scared of like shit breaking.
Right.
So
like the rope ripping
I'm
or the
scared
anchor
of the rope
pulling
breaking out,
yeah.
or like the belayer not belaying properly and dropping me and shit. Like,
so many things out of your control that can result in
that's
death.
that's the thing, is like the lack of control kind of sucks. Yeah. And that really scared me. But it kind of helped me get over that kind of fear.
Nice.
And I remember when I did get into it, just like everything I get into, I was like, I'm gonna go fucking hard, and by next year, I'm gonna be a mountaineer. And I was just like I was just so convinced by it that I like wanted to go as far as I possibly could in it.
Right.
And now I've kind of like pulled back from that. But it's been like I would say most of the friends I've made in the past year.
Yeah.
Most of the good friends I've made in the past year, I've met in a climbing gym. Just because
you meet a lot of cool people.
You meet a lot of good people.
Everyone's so like-minded, I find. Everyone is problem solving. At the end of the day, that's what climbing is problem solving. Figuring out how do I get from here to up there. Yeah.
Like everyone's just like no one's pissed off when they're climbing.
Yeah.
Everyone's having a good time.
Yeah, it's not like
and you can hang out there for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, super chill.
You can do as long as you want.
I find what's nice about it is like it's such a mental and physical challenge. Yeah. Where it's not always just how physically strong are you, how strong are your fingers.
Yeah.
It's more of, can you even figure out how to do this movement, or can you figure out how to conserve enough energy throughout this part of the climb to where you can actually get through the second part of it.
And
so
it's
there's
not
so
really
many
an age
things.
thing either.
No.
There's no. Like I mean there's like probably better ages, but like when you go to like a big climbing gym, it's like there's like kids and there's seniors. Yeah. Right? And like a lot of times the seniors are better.
Yeah.
Like when I started climbing, all the seniors were way better.
Yeah. I find like the older crowd and like the OG climbers, like the old school climber people that I usually see at gyms they're a lot more methodical, and they don't worry so much about how hard they can climb. Yeah. And you see that sort of like related in their climbing, and they're very thought out, they take their time, they're patient, they're always in control.
They're very technical. Yeah. Yeah, like they're not doing like when we go and we're trying to do a climb we probably can't do, and we're like doing like big moves and shit, and like
just trying to be like tough guys, like strong,
like just strength climbing. They're like they're thinking about it. It's very mental for them, I think. True. Yeah. But it's really fucking good for you too. Oh yeah. I mean, I know it's good for you, but like the mental side of it, I'm sure is really good for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely for older people.
Yeah, especially if it's a new thing. If you're an older person and you're getting out, and like for one, it's a physical activity, but like you said too, just like a strong, it's just a good physical challenge for anybody to go to a climbing gym for one, but then...
And you can do it with anyone.
Yeah, anybody.
It's like the best first date thing. It's like the best family outing thing. Because like everyone can do it.
Very romantic until they see your gross ass climbing feet.
Okay,
I have really gross climbing feet, so that's why I know that.
Okay, well, other than that, other than your gross climbing feet.
It's a good thing Callie loves climbing feet.
It is, though. It's such a good first date thing.
Yeah,
like, it's so good. Even if you...
I've never tried it as a first date, but I can believe that,
Yeah. You've been kind of tied in since you started climbing.
Yeah, so. Callie's been there for most of my climbing life so far. My climbing career.
Well, maybe you'll never be able to experience that then. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm very satisfied with where I am.
That's good.
Yeah, so climbing, I guess, for me, there's not much to say about climbing. I feel like climbing was the sport that got me into physical activity and fitness and looking at myself personally as like an athlete.
Yeah, because before climbing, when I knew you just for that like year there, you weren't athletic
at all.
Like you weren't like fat or you weren't like unathletic. You just weren't like.
I did go to a gym to like lift weights.
Yeah,
and I went through.
But
spurts
you weren't
of
striving for any sort of fitness or health.
Exactly. Exactly. And now I feel like I have a lot more fitness goals and.
Now it's like your life almost.
Sort of.
You're like always trying to get.
I'm on the hangboard every single day. Or like trying to do my rings and stuff, and sometimes I don't do like super crazy hard workouts every day, but I'm always like hanging around or like doing a few pull-ups or doing core exercises, practicing front levers, which I'm getting pretty good at.
Front levers are fucking hard.
I'm starting to get more control, so when I go to raise my feet, just due to the momentum, I can get my feet to come up.
Yeah.
And I can almost hold it there.
On a hangboard?
Almost hold it there. I was doing it on the hangboard. On the big like the like the 3 or the 2 pad like jug grip.
That's fucking hard.
But I'm getting there.
Because if you do it with like a pole with grip, it's so much easier.
Is it?
Oh yeah, because you can like instead of pushing down, you can kind of like twist.
Right. Yeah, you use your wrist, I guess.
Like I mean, not like your wrists definitely aren't strong enough to like pull your body up, but it's way better than just your fingertips.
Yeah. Well, it's like doing a pull up, like on the TRX rings that I built. Doing a pull up on that way harder. Like doing a proper pull up. Like chin ups are still like relatively easy. Yeah. But like trying to like keep your back like nice and straight.
When it's controlled.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's way harder. But it's kind of cool because I feel like after all of this, like once I do go back to climbing, because I sort of know what I want to be working out and like where I want to keep things strong.
Yeah, like your specific goals.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to not lose a whole lot out of climbing, except for maybe a lot of like endurance. I don't know. Well, I guess we'll just have to see. Like I really don't know, but
lose a lot.
What's that?
I feel like I might lose a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless I figure out a way to start training.
Yeah, I guess you don't really train a lot of like climbing specific stuff, but you can start training more with me and just like get on the hangboard more or use the pinch block. I built a pinch block today. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, actually, it's just like a wooden stump that I found in the woods. That had been cut down from a tree, and then it's the width obviously of my pinch grip, and then I drilled a hole through it. And then I just attached a bucket with a bunch of rocks inside of it to make this homemade pinch grip.
Works really well, actually.
Yeah, it does. And if you use the top end, it's a little bit easier and it's a bit bigger, so you can actually
it's like angled a bit.
It's angled, so you get a bit more pressure. And then the other end, it's the opposite, so it's much more narrow, but it's like angling outwards almost. It's really sweet, yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about today all the different ways we could build shit to do more workouts.
Mm-hmm. There's so many ways. Yeah. Look at all the stuff I've built.
You're just doing pulling. You're up pulling, just doing pull-ups.
Yeah.
Like just keeping that strong, keeping your core strong and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Body weight exercises.
It's just weird because it's such a specific skill that like you don't usually train in normal life. Like like let's say we were into soccer.
Yeah.
It's like you can run. You can just run. Like you can do shit. But like climbing is so specific. Yeah. Like a specific type of training. It's like your fingers, pull-ups and core and everything. Like you don't really train that unless you're training for it.
Kind of, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Although
like, it's hard to stay in shape for just a regular life.
Yeah.
Like you're not carrying like 50-pound plates with your fingers around all the time to like train.
I think maybe that's a bit different because I feel like we've talked about this, in my opinion, a lot of like good climbing strength purely just comes from the core. Yeah. So like you can have a super strong pinch or like you can have really jacked, fingers or tendons, forearms, and you can do like your weighted hangs on the hangboard. But I feel like some of the best climbers obviously they're still going to be strong like with their fingers and everything, but I feel like it's their core strength that makes them better climbers than purely just their finger strength. So even just doing body weight exercises and yoga, I feel like are two ways that you can get you can get a lot better. Well, even Callie and I have been doing a lot more yoga lately, and you know, we're trying to do it every day, and doing some of the more like strength-based ones.
Yoga can be fucking hard. Yoga can be either really boring or really hard. Yeah. Personal preference. Yeah. Because some yoga I get really bored.
I find the harder it is, the more I focus and pay attention.
Yeah, when they're hard, they're fun. Yeah. Like because they can be really.
When they're easy, you're just like
I get like distracted. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn.
But.
And I mean, I guess we talked about it yesterday, but we all met through climbing.
Yeah. Yeah.
We met before climbing, but we're all kind of friends because of climbing, which is really funny. We brought Jackie climbing, which is fun. Jackie's like our
How did she climb well?
What did she? Yeah, I think she went with Callie more than she went with me, but I'm pretty sure
she went more than once.
Oh yeah, she got a membership. Or no, I don't think she got a membership, but she was like, she was going somewhat regularly with Callie. Yeah, like once a week. They would go. And I think she ended up sending a 5'9" at some point.
Sick.
So, I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. For a somewhat older lady, she's 68. So, for a 68-year-old who just got into climbing, like, just a couple months ago to climb 5'9".
A while ago, too. And she did, like, the same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
And she had, like, super sore... Like, her arms were just fucked.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember the first week I got into climbing, I was like, what the fuck? Like, I can't text. I can't, like... drive properly, like anything that controls.
And then you learn to stretch your forearms out, and you're like, oh yeah.
But even just that first one, man. I think no matter how much you stretch, I think after your first climb.
Oh yeah, you're sore.
Yeah.
I love that though. I love when you're really sore, when your muscles are super sore, and then you stretch.
That's what I got.
Oh,
I actually missed
the best feeling ever.
When I said the other day I was like really missing it.
Yeah.
I missed the pump.
Yeah.
Like I missed the not being able to hold on to shit anymore.
When you're getting all shaky up there and you're like, oh.
Yeah, like the feeling when your forearms just want to like explode. Yeah. It feels so cool. Like it's just, it feels like after a workout when you're like sore, you feel like rewarded. It's like the ultimate like rewarding sore. Mm-hmm. It's just like you feel it so intensely, but like you can still pull strength out of it.
Yeah, totally. So so you were talking earlier and it reminded me of this point I kind of wanted to bring up about how the reason that I really like climbing is because like on the like mountaineering, like alpine side of it, like I haven't done a lot of like alpinism or like mountaineering like whatsoever. I've done like a few small trips on the island here. But getting more into it and sort of studying it a bit more and learning more about it, I feel like one thing that's really interesting about it, and I was thinking about this the other day, is how like humbling it is almost, because you're literally because you were talking about no control with like the rope and you know your belay partner and anchor, whatever it could be. There's not a lot of control. It's kind of out of your hands, and it's very serious if things go wrong. And I was thinking about that the other day, about how, at least for me, like one part of the reason that I think I really am drawn to like mountaineering and just climbing mountains and climbing outside in general is because it challenges me in such a way, but it's also like extremely humbling because bad stuff can happen super easily.
Dude, mountains scare the shit out of me.
Man, it's super scary.
They actually do, like, I love them. They're fucking gorgeous. Hiking's amazing, but like they're scary. I'm because I'm like a pretty cautious person regularly, and when I'm up there I feel like I'm just like I don't have like anxiety necessarily, but like I definitely am in like a hyper sensitive state of like paying attention to everything a little bit, and like I'm almost like always waiting. Yeah. You know, I'm like almost always waiting for like the rock to give out under my foot, or like or like a fucking avalanche. Not that we ever go where there's you know what I mean, right? Like you're just always waiting for something wrong to happen.
Oh, and there's so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah, you just gotta trust it.
Yeah, bad
did you
slip.
see that a whole mountain broke off? It was in Banff. Half a mountain broke off.
Yeah, I've seen that. That was a big climbing spot too.
Yeah,
I forget where that was.
I remember because Chris Ice, he posted and he's like surprising that there was no one there because it's like a popular spot.
Yeah, I think that was actually in the Bugaboos. I could be totally wrong though.
I don't know.
But I do remember seeing that, and it's like it was like before and after pictures of this huge like wall cliff face, just like
I was like
completely
that's
off.
My fear. I'm like that's why I'm scared.
Yeah, totally, man.
Fuck, it's crazy that like that happens.
Yeah.
Just gives out. When like the 3 mountaineers that died.
Yeah, and they're
like
world
the best
class.
in the world,
yeah, that was a big deal last year when it happened in Banff. Also, when Nick and I went to climb Kings Peak, and Kings Peak is just it's an island. It's an island. It's a mountain on Vancouver Island. It's the 9th tallest mountain on the island, and it's a really great summer hike. We did it last year with Evan. We went up there, and hiking in the summer, really late spring, like not too big a deal. It's pretty mellow. Like it's not dangerous. It's a good day hike, but it's a really good overnight.
Yeah.
My friend Nick and I went up there. I think it was last month in February. We went up to Kings Peak in February, and it's like mid-winter conditions, like complete like snow the entire way. A proper winter ascent, I would say, like a good intro to winter mountaineering.
Yeah.
And basically we decided to go up the glacier route. You literally just go like straight up this huge gully,
like between the two massive
between
faces,
the Queen's Ridge and the King's Peak.
Okay.
You go right up right up through the middle, and it's just one big glacier the whole way.
Yeah.
And as we were going up, it was like we had like thigh deep snow in some spots.
Sure.
And there was this crust on top of the snow, and I'll admit, like, I don't know a lot about snow conditions and snowpack, so I don't really know what good or bad snow conditions are. So keep in mind, the whole time we were climbing, I was constantly in the back of my head, I was like, could this trigger an avalanche? Is an avalanche gonna happen?
I guess it was winter. Yeah.
It was pure winter. Yeah, it was. I think it was -14 at the summit, which is pretty chilly. Yeah, it was pretty chilly for Vancouver Island. And yeah, so we're climbing up the glacier, and we kind of went around, because you can go up this main gully at the beginning. It's super steep. It's pretty narrow, but it's like directly up the route you want to go.
Yeah.
I was super scared of that. I was like, I've never been in a gully. It's really prone to avalanches. I don't want to get caught in that if something bad happens. So we decided to take a long way. It probably took us an extra 2 hours to go that way.
Did you have Avi gear?
No, we didn't have a beacon. We didn't have anything really safe. Like I had, crampons, ice axe, so did Nick, snowshoes. We had all the right clothing, and I had my helmet and everything, but we didn't have like any sort of like probe, shovel, beacon, stuff like that. Which is like, it's pretty bad. Like you shouldn't go out into the mountains with like that little of gear.
Yeah, I guess it depends what you're doing.
Yeah, but we were like, whatever, let's go with Kings Peak, whatever. So we're going up, and I remember as we were getting to the top of the glacier, we're probably 3 hours in at this point, we're within a 1 hour window of our turnaround time. So our original turnaround time from the time we left base camp to like the time we had to like turn around from wherever we were, because we had to get back, was 10 o'clock. Like 10 o'clock in the morning, whether we're at the peak or we're 100 meters up.
So early.
We were just like, we have to call it. Like that's just to give us enough time to get back to the vehicle and everything. Yeah. And so 10 o'clock was our turnaround time, and but we had an extra hour basically just in case.
Yeah.
So technically our turnaround time was 11 o'clock, but we decided to say 10 just to be safe.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 10 o'clock, and we're at the top of the gully, and we're really close to the summit. We're like 200 meters from the summit. And all of a sudden this huge dark cloud like rolls over. And up until this point, it had been blue skies, not a single cloud to be seen, like perfect conditions, beautiful sunrise, clouds were coming in through the valley, a bit of an inversion. And we're like, oh sweet, this is awesome, taking pictures the whole time. And then we get to the top of the gully, and this huge dark storm cloud just like creeps over the summit, and we're like, okay, this could be interesting. And so we keep going, and then the wind just like out of nowhere, the wind just starts like pounding us. Conditions are getting pretty bad. Like gale force winds, like we're like literally there were some points where if you were fully standing up and like walking up the glacier, you would get blown over from the wind because it was that strong. Like gusts, it wasn't constant, but there was like gusts. Yeah. And keep in mind, I've never been in these kind of conditions before ever. And I'm taking my friend Nick, who is less experienced than me, and we're just going for it. We're just like, the summit, let's go. And so
that's actually like,
yeah, it was crazy. And so basically, we're right around 10 o'clock, and we're just like, okay, should we keep going? It's 200 meters. We technically have another hour if we need. Like, maybe we should just go for it. And, it's getting kind of dark because this big storm cloud, and, the wind's just pounding us. And every once in a while, the wind would pick up a bunch of powder, and it would like shoot this like kind of powder cloud at you.
Yeah.
And you just like duck your head, otherwise you get whipped by the snowflakes. And I remember there was this one point where like we had like kind of like ducked down and like held onto our axes in the snow to like just like wait for the wind to pass.
Yeah.
And I remember when I looked up to keep going, I looked up at Nick because he was ahead of me, and I went to keep going, and I just seen this huge like cloud of like thick, heavy like powder snow like falling at us from basically some of the cliffs from above. Just this huge like thing, and like before I knew it, I was just like, oh shit! I like turned my head. I grab onto my axe. I'm like, oh fuck, this is it. I thought it was a fucking avalanche because of all the powder that was coming at us. It looked like the cloud like kind of before an avalanche, and I was like, oh fuck. And I genuinely thought I was gonna fucking die. I was like, holy shit, this is it. Wow, it's a fucking avalanche. This is how people die. And luckily it wasn't. Like I kept waiting for it to like start pounding on me, and like after it was probably 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, I like look up and like. Nick he's like continuing to like go up, and I'm like, oh man, I think we should call it. And because I was so scared at that point, I literally thought an avalanche was coming, and I was like, dude, this is how I die. And like it made me realize in that moment how insignificant you are out there.
Yeah.
It's like you can think you're so strong or whatever.
Yeah.
Mountain doesn't care. Like nature doesn't care. And like
it's so scary. I actually don't like
easy.
that. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go up in the winter.
Yeah. It's a completely different thing from like hiking mountains or even climbing mountains in the summer.
That was one of the reasons I decided I wasn't gonna get that into it. Like sport climbing, indoor climbing, fucking awesome. Mountaineering, like I'll do like the easy shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just not like I don't have that drive.
Yeah.
That it's worth
the draw
the risk.
To it. Yeah.
Like I don't have the like. I fucking love summiting. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. It's a great view. But like, is it worth dying?
No, definitely not. But like, you don't go with the intention of dying.
Well,
right?
no, you never go with the intention to die. But it's kind of like everything. Like I had that with surfing too.
Oh yeah.
I remember the first time I ever went out in like decently big waves. It was like
that day.
It was that day.
When you and I went.
Yeah. Actually, no.
14-foot swell in Bali.
It was crazy. Different. You mean the day that you didn't have your board?
Ryan. Yeah, when I went out with my camera to try and take photos and videos of
so
you
that
guys
day
and almost died.
fucking sucked because like the water was also super choppy. We should not have been out. It was like we were kind of at a point that like we were getting decent and we're like, all right, let's push it a little bit. Yeah. Let's see if we can do a little bit.
I remember there was no sets that day. It was just wave after wave after wave after wave after wave.
This was a different
big
day.
Waves.
Yeah. Big waves. This is a different day. And it was like average size, but I think, was it Paranan? Oh, fuck, I forget all the beaches, but there was like one set, and then like way out further to the right, there was another bigger set out there. So I was like, I just swam out there, and I just kind of like sat at the side because I wanted to watch. And I wanted to watch like all the people going, and like they all went. Yeah. And I was kind of like the only one out there, and there was like 2 other guys, but they were just kind of like chilling.
Was that beach break or reef break?
I think it was a reef break.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly, but I think there's the beach break where everyone surfs.
Yeah.
And then a little bit further out, there's a reef break.
Is that near like Old Man's?
It's the one Old Man's. It's the one we always went to. Old Man's.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
How do I forget what it's called?
I don't know. Yeah, where the big resort is.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that resort called?
Our drone. Fins?
I think it was Fins.
Was it Fins?
Fins Beach Club?
I think it's Fins Beach Club. So in front of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I went up there, and it was the first day that I'd gone out to like that area, and they get like bigger out there, like quite a bit bigger. So it was probably like, and it was a big day anyway. So it was
I remember
like 12,
going out there a few
times. It was probably like 12 foot.
I know the spot you're talking about.
And it was the first time I actually tried to take a 12-foot wave instead of just like watch it.
Yeah.
And I got fucked.
Really?
And I got held down long. I mean, it's not that big of a wave, but like for me, it's a big wave. I got held down longer than I've ever been held down, and then I got caught in the set. So I just kept on getting fucking pushed in. And it was like, that was the first time, because like I've been hit by waves, but not to a point that I'm like, I can't get out of this right now. I just gotta take it. Yeah. Like I've never had to just take it. I've always been able to like paddle my way out or like swim out or do something. But I was like, I'm in the set. I gotta wait till the set fucking rolls through.
Dang.
Because even if there was a way for me to get out, I didn't know it. I wasn't experienced enough to be like, oh, I gotta do this to avoid it.
Yeah.
But it was like, I remember at that point, like after that session, I went up to the beach and I was like, I'm just gonna stick to it. This is gonna scary. This is gonna be a hobby. This is not because like fuck, it's like mountains, but the way worse is water.
Yeah. Well, you can drown, right?
It's like
and you can get like
feeling when you're getting washed,
scary
and
out there.
You can't swim out of it.
Yeah.
And you're just like, because I remember a couple times I was like trying to swim to the surface, and it took me a few times to be like, I can't swim. Like there's no swimming, because you'd be swimming down even if you were swimming. You have no idea which way's up.
Yeah. Especially when you can't touch the bottom.
The mountains of the water.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I remember that day when Ryan, and I went out when it was 12 to 14 foot, but like there was nobody in the water, because not even like the good people who could surf the big waves were out surfing that day, because it was just not ideal conditions. We just looked purely at the number. We were just like 12, 14 foot, let's go.
Yeah.
So stupid. We had surfed maybe 3 or 4 foot waves
There's
up to
always
that
so
point.
many people on the beach watching us.
Oh man, we were total idiots. And I remember I went out without a surfboard because I wanted to get photos and mostly videos of you and Ryan actually surfing, and I was like, oh, I'll just paddle out here like a surf photographer. Like, no big deal. No fins. I didn't have any sort of life vest or helmet or anything. I literally was doggy paddling the whole time. And
very dangerous man in this podcast.
Yeah, there's been some risky situations. Risky shit. And I remember being out there when we realized that like, oh fuck point of what are we doing. I remember when that happened, you and Ryan were like, get back to the beach right now. And so you guys gunned it. You had your surfboard, so you could kind of float in a bit easier.
I think I remember actually like bellying a wave in.
Yeah.
Just like catching
saying,
on the belly.
Fucking,
Like, fucking on body.
Dude, it was so bad. And I remember you guys went in and I was like trying to paddle back out, but I wasn't on a board or back in. I didn't have a board, so I was just doggy paddling, and I had a GoPro in one hand, so I was trying to like paddle. And I remember the waves were coming in like twos, so you would get like that like 10-foot wave at first, which is a big wave, but then you like dive under it because you could see it coming, and then as soon as you came up, or as soon as I came up, the next wave, that's when you got like the 12 to 14, so it was even bigger behind it. And as soon as you were coming up, you were just like getting pounded. And so I remember being stuck under the water at one point for, it feels like so long, it was probably 10 or 15 seconds.
It feels like forever.
And I remember I was like trying to swim back to the surface, and I remember my like face hit the sand. I thought I was like swimming up. My eyes were closed because of salt water, and I was like swimming, and I thought I was swimming to the surface, and then my face hit the sand, and I was like, what? And I was so confused. I was like, oh my god.
I think it was on a reef.
Oh, face in the reef. So bad, dude.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I remember my first time surfing reef was at Padang with all those guys. And
I love that spot.
Yeah, we went out with, who did we go out with?
Joe and Emily.
Yeah, Joe and Emily, and then there was that other guy that they were friends with. I don't remember his name, I'm sorry. Guy who's probably not watching this right now. But we were all surfing out there, and that was like a small swell day. It was like maybe 3 foot. Like, it was
I never surfed on a big day there.
Yeah.
It's fucking rude. Fuck that.
Perfect barrels, though. When you watch those barrels come in there, oh, it's just like... It's so
watching from the cliff was sweet.
Yeah.
There was that swell that killed people, remember? There was like three people died, I think.
That was right after I left Bali in July, when that huge, massive, like, storm of a century swell hit Bali, and it was like those huge waves. And there was that one video of the guy, they called him like the Red Rocket or something. Yeah, and you just see him flying, this like tiny dude, like going down this huge wave.
That was when that boat got fucked too.
Yeah, the boat video. That's a classic.
Oh, man, that was scary.
Yeah, the ocean's just a scary place, man. Yeah. Nature in general, it's just so humbling. But that's what I love about all these kind of sports.
Yeah, I think that's why, like, because I'm fucking fascinated by the ocean. Like, I always wanted to be a marine biologist. Like, that was, like, my thing. Yeah. That was one of the reasons I wanted to get, or a big reason I wanted to get into photography, was to try, like, snake my way into marine biology without actually being a marine biologist.
That's awesome.
Try to get into like the photo side of it and the video side of it. Yeah. And it's still like potential dream of mine someday, but like I was always like terrified of it and fascinated by it. Because like I've been in both states where it's like I feel like it's gonna kill me, but then I've also been like when I've been like scuba diving or free diving or something, or just like even fucking snorkeling. Yeah. It's like an alien planet. It's like it's one of the only places that's not like explored. Really. Yeah. For the most part. You can find new shit as just like a regular person. Yeah. Right? Whereas like, you know, on land you don't really see that. And you can fucking fly. When you're scuba diving, man, and you're like underwater, like you're equal or whatever. I don't know the right term, but it feels like you're flying. You're just like floating around. Cause I couldn't go scuba diving. You remember that? Oh yeah.
Eddie and I went to Thailand.
I forgot
to go
you were there with
diving.
me. That's why I didn't remember you were there with me because you couldn't fucking do it with me.
Dude, this
no shit.
scuba diving is awesome. Yeah, man, I couldn't go.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we went to Koh Tao for a week to go diving.
They fucking almost let you.
They gave me the option. They said what did they say? Basically, I have a lung problem. I had a collapsed lung, spontaneous pneumothorax a few years ago. A collapsed lung, spontaneous, totally randomly happened. And while we were filling out all the paperwork to, whatever, to go diving, one of the things was, have you had any lung issues? And I remember looking at Eddie, and I was like, should I tell them about my spontaneous lung collapse a few years ago? And you were like, yeah, you should probably tell them. I was like, but what if they don't let me go? Maybe I should just not tell them. And you're like, dude, just tell them. You have to. And I remember I told them, and they basically gave me the choice. They're like, I would strongly recommend that you don't do this.
Yeah.
But I can't stop you from doing it. And that was kind of
But wasn't there
this was a doctor telling me that.
Okay, that was the doctor at the dive center, but wasn't there didn't we go to a Medi Center or something?
Oh my god!
And the guy was just yeah, you're good. He didn't even fucking do anything.
So I needed to go and
listen to your chest for a minute. It's solid.
it was so ridiculous. So when I was filling out the paperwork, I brought it up, and they said I needed to get a doctor medical check, and they're like, yeah, you can go to some of the clinics. There's a lot in this area, or you can go here. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You need to go get a doctor to check you medically and give you the okay that you can go diving. And so I remember being like, oh man, I don't know, let's just go do it. So we went to the doctor. It was I forget what it costed. I think it costed me $15 or something.
Yeah.
And I waited in the clinic for maybe 5 or 10 minutes. Doctor comes out. He's like, Dion, and I was like, yeah. Go in, and I basically explained to him, hey, I just need to get this inspection to do diving, and I need your signature. And he's like, okay, what's the issue? I was like, I had a lung collapse a few years ago. He pulls out a stethoscope, listens to my chest, puts it in a few spots, and touches my chest. And then after a minute, he's like, yeah, you're okay. Signs the thing, and sends me on my
sitting
way.
there just being like,
yeah,
I could have fucking done that. I was so stupid. I was actually I felt like your mother. I was like, excuse me, that was not a check.
This is not appropriate.
I was like you could literally fucking die, and you're just like, yep,
yeah,
we're good.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was so weird.
Doctor didn't care at all.
Yeah.
I think he's probably seen that so much. He's just like, I'll make my money here.
Yeah, exactly.
This is what
problem.
The guy just wants to go diving. I don't care. It's not on me. I don't know how that works, but that was pretty crazy. But I'm happy. I made the decision not to go, and I don't actually I don't feel regret from that.
Yeah.
I the whole time I was there bummed me out being there because I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go diving. This is what we came here for. I had so much regret, but now I'm like, you know what? I don't really regret it because I'm happy I made the decision to just do the safe thing and just not go.
Yeah. Well, fuck yeah, it's worth.
And I went snorkeling instead. I went snorkeling by myself one day with some turtles.
Have you figured out if you can free dive safely?
I can free dive. I don't know scientifically.
Did you go to that doctor to ask that, or
definitely.
did you?
Yes.
You went to the.
I just YouTubed
You went to the Thai doctor, and he's like, "Yeah, you're good, man." Yeah, no, because that's it's the same thing, kinda.
Similar.
Dude, free diving would just be the pressure. I'm sure scuba diving has something to do with the air intake.
And scuba diving, because I remember they were talking about there's more nitrogen in your lungs or something, and when you come up, there's all this equalization and pressures and stuff you have to do.
Nitrogen. It's called nitrogen sickness, but there's a word for it.
Yeah, I know when you're in the mountains, it's the opposite thing. It's called hypoxia, and if you're at a super high elevation,
that's why you
your brain swells inside your skull and it starts compressing.
Not climatize, acclimatize.
Acclimate, climatize.
Is climatize one?
I think climatize, yeah. Acclimate usually is a more technical term.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's the opposite. But if you do it in water, you
got
to sit in one of those pressure chambers.
Yeah. Because if you don't, you get too much. I think you get too much carbon dioxide or something.
Well, the nitrogen goes into your blood when you're deep in the water. I don't know. It's not even about deep. I think it's about deepness, but it's more about time.
Okay.
I think I could be fucking totally wrong.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because
we're not scientists.
I'm a scientist. But so anyways, whether it's fucking deep or time, I know if you go deep enough and stay on long enough, you get that the nitrogen starts to build up.
That's crazy.
And then when you come to the surface, it expands.
Oh.
So that's why it's because it expands in your blood.
Yeah.
So it's making air pockets of nitrogen in your blood.
Dang.
And then it does something to like your blood flow.
Yeah.
Like it makes it like either high pressure or low pressure.
That's so funny how we're so not
scary.
designed to be in those environments.
That we like want to go down there though.
Yeah.
Like, let's go check it out.
Or climb to the top of mountains. It's like there's nothing up there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna find
what I mean.
anything.
Yeah.
You're not getting any money up there unless you're sponsored or something. But like,
Sponsored.
it doesn't matter. There's nothing up there.
If I was sponsored, I'd go.
There's an amazing view and there's the entire journey of getting there. But that's what the thing is why do you climb mountains? It's like, it's the whole, like, I don't know. It's so weird.
I truly do it as a mental building thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love it, but like when I go, I know I'm going into, I'm gonna fucking hate this.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be awesome when I'm done at the summit.
Yeah, fun for sure.
Yeah.
It's so good to go in with that mentality because I find that's the mentality I always go in with is, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
But then, it ends up sucking, but you have this expectation that it's gonna be bad, so you're like, whatever, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And then by the time you finish and like get back to the vehicle or, make it home to shower, ooh, that's the best part, showering.
When I did the Golden Hind last year, that was the most hardcore of that feeling I've ever gotten.
Yeah.
Like that was the longest I've been out and doing like a ridiculous friendly.
That's a brutal
strenuous
long hike.
Yeah,
in
and
3 days.
Yeah.
Eddie and I both did the Golden Hind in 3 days, which is 60 kilometers round trip, about 5,000 or 6,000 meters of elevation gain.
5K. 60 kilometers, not a big deal.
Sure.
If it was flat, you could do like if it was a gradual up, 60K it'd be hard, but like but the fucking 5,000 meters of elevation.
You're constantly as you're going like up ridges, down ridges, up ridges.
It's so rare that you're walking straight.
Yeah.
There's
like, no flatness.
Yeah.
Until you're at the lake walking around one of the lakes. That's
and it's not like the elevation gains are like that. It's like you go down and then like the elevation gain is like you go up a super steep cliff and it's like switch backing up.
Yeah.
Or like
and then straight back down.
There's that one part when you're coming back after you've passed the lakes, you have to like kind of you're on this side of the lake and then you weave across and then you go up by the forest. Fuck that forest.
It's literally a steep forest.
It's literally like staircases.
Yeah.
It's like a staircase in the forest.
Yeah.
That's really slippery.
Yeah. You're like literally climbing up with trees.
Fuck, you're literally climbing at some points.
Yeah. And you don't see anything. It's just forest in your face the whole time.
Yeah.
But then you get to the ridge, and once you get to the ridge, then you see all the mountains and all the valleys.
We got really both. On our way in, we got a bluebird day, and it was beautiful, and it was inverted, and it was just we could see everything the entire day.
Yeah.
Way out, clouded in the whole time.
Right.
So when we were on the ridge, because like the ridge is weird. It's got like that white rock. It's super unique.
There's
like
a lot of limestone.
I've never been on a mountain like that, and we were like completely in a cloud. So you couldn't see, like visibility was maybe 50 feet.
Right.
And then it was just like
it's like nothing
condensed. So we're like trying to make sure we're on the right path the whole time. But we felt like we were in the void.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you know you're up on a mountain.
Weird. Yeah.
But it feels like you're on the ground.
Right.
Because you can't see anything.
Yeah.
And like the ridge is pretty flat. Like it doesn't kind of like drops off.
There's no sound up there.
There's no sound.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Alpine ridges, there's not really any sound other than the wind.
Yeah.
Because there's no.
And there was no wind. It was dead.
Yeah.
It was really creepy.
That is creepy.
It was cool.
Yeah.
But
it's something like what's that movie, The Mist? You know what I'm talking about? Where they're all in the grocery store and it gets super misty and all these people are locked in a grocery store. And there's all these like crazy weird bug monsters outside that like come out of the mist. It's a Stephen King novel. But also turned into a movie. Really good movie. Horror movie. But yeah, that's I love the Golden Hind trip. That's a fun hike. That's a fun adventure.
Yeah. Huh.
So climbing, very humbling, very challenging mentally and physically, I feel like. And also it's like one of my favorite things to just like go out and do and photograph. And I love the lifestyle around it too, because I feel like for me personally, the lifestyle that I've always like attached with is kind of like the sort of like outsider a little bit, like kind of doing your own thing, small group, I don't know, mentality of just like, we just want to go climb. We don't care what anyone thinks. Like we're, dirty, grungy dirtbags and we just want to go climb and do fun shit.
Plus it's one of the only mountain sports that anyone can do in terms of like, expense. Like snowboarding's expensive, skiing's expensive, mountain biking, you need a mountain bike, like all that kind of shit. Where climbing, you just need like a pair of climbing shoes and you can go climb.
Yeah.
I mean like,
It depends.
bouldering kind of thing.
You
but
do
like,
need gear.
You need
for
gear.
Sure.
You need gear, but like if
you have a friend who has gear.
Yeah, but like you don't
good.
need to go on like a chairlift, and you don't need to go to like a mountain resort.
Yeah, you don't need to buy a
It's
season
just
pass.
like you just kind of like you learn how to do it, and like don't learn by yourself. Obviously, like obviously you need more than the pair of shoes. Like you need like knowledge and shit, but like it's not something that will cost you like thousands of dollars a year, like some mountain sports do. Yeah. Because like so many people miss out on going to the mountains because of that. Like I know a lot of people who haven't skied or snowboarded because they like can't afford to go skiing or snowboarding. Crazy. So that kind of sucks, right? So kind of like you miss that like opportunity to experience actually being in a mountain. It's like anyone can climb though.
Totally.
Then you don't
for the most, especially bouldering. Bouldering so accessible. Yeah. Because all you need is a friend with a crash pad or your own crash pad, a pair of climbing shoes, and some chalk. That's all you need.
Well, because like one of the reasons I'm saying that is because like I got into it after you guys did, so like I had a pair of shoes and a harness, and you guys had all the gear. Yeah. So like the way I got into climbing outside was through people I knew. And I didn't pay shit. Like I literally just went with you guys. Nice. Right, and then I use your gear, and then like eventually I'll get gear, and I'll like so it's like a. It's to get into it. It's not expensive, right? Like you just kind of find people and everything, but it's not like I want to go snowboarding for my first time. I need to spend
$1,000 on a season's pass, and then thousands of dollars on a jacket, and a board, and boots, and bindings, and all the fixings.
I was looking. I know you were too. I was looking at split boards this year. Yeah, it's so expensive. Yeah, for a full kit because I don't have Abby gear either.
Yeah, that's a lot. Dude. I came like this close to buying a split board. Back in September, and
$1,000.
I remember Callie was like, "You don't need a split board. Like, you don't need one. You have so many other things that you're doing, like hobby wise. You don't need a split board." Yeah. And I was like, "Oh, but I really want one. Like, it's gonna be so much fun, and like, I really want to go split boarding this winter." Yeah. Honestly, if I would have bought that split board, I probably, if I was lucky, maybe would have went split boarding, maybe 3 times. Yeah. 3 times. Yeah. Which is like pretty much nothing. Yeah, no. It's like, enough, but...
My friends in Golden go like every other weekend, it seems like. Yeah. There's always somebody.
They probably go multiple times a week.
Yeah, I mean, because most of them just do it on the back.
It's like going for a hike, after work or on the weekend or whatever. Yeah. Sort of. I guess you can't really go after work because it's dark out, but...
But, I mean, they're in the mountains, though.
Yeah, they live like right in the epicenter.
Yeah.
Golden's a cool place. How deep are we? How deep are we?
How deep are we? 13.
We're halfway through the second part. Should we wrap this up?
We could wrap it up.
Because I feel like we talked about climbing, then we verged out, but then we came back to it.
You know what I feel like? We can't keep doing these. We should keep doing these. Yeah. But you know what I think would be really good? If we just like talked about shit we've done. Because everything
our adventures.
So far, we've always just reverted to stories. Yeah. We should just like do our stories. We should pick like, I mean, because they just lead into like stories. Just do like fucking story time. True. We journal of the last however many years of our life.
I'll be honest. One thing I want to get better at is like telling stories more. Yeah. And just like physically telling stories, because I feel like I've noticed that a lot of people that I really like listening to talk, it didn't come out right. People that I really like listening to just are really good storytellers. Like Jackie, for instance. She's a lady who owns the farm here.
The hell out of a
and
story.
She'll talk all night. Yeah. Just her. She'll talk all night. And she'll be telling you stories with all these voices and and people like that. I just find it super entertaining, and it's cool when you can talk to a bunch of people and tell a cool story or get people involved in that. So I think that's a good idea. We should find a topic and like talk about a story we have with that. Because that's kind of what we do anyways, right? So
because we keep just going to stories. Yeah. That's kind of... Because it'd be cool. It'd be like... Because I was thinking about that during all this quarantine thing. I'm like, I've kept track of things I've done over the past couple of years, but not like... Yeah. Not really. Right. Like I have like splits where it's like, I didn't talk or like record anything to myself for like 4 months there. Like, so I miss like that whole... Yeah. So it'd be kind of cool to have also like for ourselves like a... Almost like a little journal. Right. And we just like...
It's a good idea.
Just cut it up and then like eventually we'll just have like the past however many years of all our cool stories.
That's sweet, yeah.
And then we just keep it, we put it on YouTube, people can watch it. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. But and like, also too, a lot of the stories that we talked about even today, I have video and photos.
Yeah, we can fucking throw shit in.
We should throw it in.
And it's if you're bored here, it's your fault. So it's all our shit that we did to not be bored. Yeah. Yeah, because I was thinking about that, because man, I try to always write.
Yeah.
Can't write. I can.
Yeah.
But it's not even like
I'll do it for a while, a couple days, and then
it's not even like a loss in interest. It's just it's like a loss in inspiration. I like want to write, and like I want, whether it's just journaling or like writing somehow.
Yeah.
About it, whether it's creative or just literally just like jotting down stuff. It's like I'm into it and then I just lose interest. It's just like I don't like writing enough.
Yeah.
For me to actually put all that down, like I can't do journals, man.
I used to do a lot of voice recordings.
Yeah, that's good. But I don't like talking about my day when I do it in sense of a journal. I love talking about it the way that we just said, like talking about stories and like telling the story and being like, this happened.
Totally.
But like I hate being like, I did this and then I did this. Like in a
I feel like telling a story is just a more entertaining way of...
It's way more entertaining, yeah.
Talking about your life.
Then we can put shit of fun videos and shit.
And then you'll keep listening.
And then, exactly. This is gonna...
Actually, it doesn't matter if anyone listens to it.
This will be like a dialogue documentary about
We're just making this for us, so we can go back and look back on it.
We should just fucking do our whole life.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Life story of Cliff and Basil.
How to not be bored.
Yeah.
And it's your fault if you are.
Alright guys, well, thanks for watching, and I am genuinely very grateful if you've watched through this entire episode. That's really impressive to me.
It's going to be a long one.
So, it's a long amount of time for someone just to spend listening to us.
How we're going to do our video podcast.
Within it's so meta, yeah.
It's Inception.
It's just a podcast inside the podcast. Anyways, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.